All right, guys. We need to talk about something if you plan to do microphone recording. This is called an audio interface. Essentially, what this box does, and it's probably about the size of 2 or 3 cell phones, if you will, or a small box of chocolates. It's just a real little box that's right next to your computer. Usually it plugs into your tower or your laptop via USB. It sometimes can be plugged in other ways as well, but for the most part it's USB. What this does is this allows audio gear to be plugged into your computer. And what I mean by that is a lot of times people, when they're first starting out, they don't realize that a computer is just a vessel to do whatever the heck you do professionally. It could be audio, it could be writing papers, it could be video, it could be 3D imaging, design of lamps or houses. I mean, computers are just kind of, think of them like a notebook, in a way. So the computer you built doesn't know that you want to be a recording artist. So you need other pieces to plug other things that it takes to be a recording artist or DJ and producer into that computer to talk to it so it can get to Ableton and do cool things like either accept your inputs like microphones or accept your outputs, outputting signal to your ears like speakers. So speakers we already kind of discussed. You don't really need monitors or speakers. If you are going to go that route, though, if you have the extra money, you're going to need an audio interface to get professional recording studio speakers talking and accepting signal back and forth, if you will, to and from your computer. Because obviously we're not like most users. We're not going to plug in some rinky-dink little desktop computer speakers like most people use. We're using higher quality things here, and that creates conflict with the computer as far as what it can accept and not accept physically with the wires that you would like to plug into that computer. So you need an audio interface. In the back of audio interfaces, which let's see if they show us here, you'll see that there's main outs. This is where your left and right speakers will go. MIDI, I really wouldn't worry about too much at all because this is kind of a course geared towards the minimalist. Really wouldn't worry about MIDI. USB, this is where just like a printer or a lot of other things, you plug one end of the USB cable here and you plug the other end into your computer. It's as simple as hooking up a printer. This is where your speakers go in, and this is the TRS cables. Sometimes you'll see in the back of bigger and sometimes arguably better audio interfaces, they will offer you for main outs TRS, which is what you see here, as well as XLR cables. If you're going to do speakers, you need to look at the back of your speakers and the back of your audio interface and either really limit your options to either buying speakers that have TRS and buying an audio face that has TRS, or buying that which you need to make it work, either a bigger audio face so that you have options of TRS and XLR. Look at the back of your speakers. Do your speakers offer TRS and XLR, or buying adapters, which you can find on Amazon easily. So let's say your speakers have XLR and your audio interface has TRS. You can buy either or cables and just buy adapters for the end, and just make sure those adapters will hook into whatever side you're adapting to. Phones, easy enough. That's where your headphones plug in. So really all of this can be ignored except for this going into your computer, USB, and this going into your phones. Now, the real reason why I'm showing you this is because at some point you may want to record vocals. On the front of audio interfaces are where microphones plug in. Once again, a computer does not understand that you want to use a professional microphone. Almost all computers have little crappy microphones on them, and I think almost all computers allow you to plug in little crappy microphones. But this computer does not understand that you want to be an audio engineer and that you're using, recording studio quality microphones ranging anywhere from $200 to, oh gosh, I don't know, $10,000. So you need an audio interface to accept that and let the computer know that's what's going on. A mediator, if you will. So this is where you'll plug in your mics if and when you decide to buy a microphone. You don't need one right off the bat unless you are someone that's kind of an outlier, like a producer that also intends on singing immediately. Even if you're a vocalist like I am, I would not necessarily rush right out and get a microphone, and here's why. You're embarking on a journey where you are about to take in loads and loads and loads of information. From building a computer, to learning the software to produce, to the art of production and engineering, to mixing and mastering. It's going to be an intense month and an intense year. You're just not probably going to have time to really lay down vocals quite yet. If you think you will, that's fine. There's no harm in it. I'm just saying you're about to take on a lot of info, and if you already have singing or vocalizing, if you're not much of a singer but more of a vocalist, down, and you think you want to focus on learning the art of production through the art of recording vocals, that's cool. But if you're a DJ producer, your focus is probably not going to be on learning the art of production through recording, editing, and mixing vocals right away. It will probably be learning the art of production through placing electronic dance music samples like kick drums, snares, claps, synthesizers, bass lines, leads, things of that nature. And vocals will fall into that. But learning the art of production through song creation rather than just vocal recording. So I hope that makes sense to you guys. You'll probably start off by learning the art of production through making a beat rather than what a vocalist might do, which is learning the art of production through recording her vocals. All of it's important. You'll learn it all eventually anyways, but most of you people out there are DJs and producers, so you're learning the art of production through making an actual dance track, which can or cannot include vocals. So this is the audio interface that I use. I think that I probably paid $100 for it at Guitar Center. It's just my opinion after 10 to 15 years of doing this. I just wouldn't obsess over this. You're not recording full-on bands, and you're likely going to hire vocalists to record vocals and send them to you. Like a lot of DJs you'll see will use a lot of female vocalists. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just that female vocalist or singer, if they're worth their salt, usually has their own setup in their home, specifically geared towards vocal recordings. So she probably has a pretty darn good mic, roughly speaking $1,000 to $5,000, and a pretty darn good audio interface, probably in the same price range. So for you to blow your bank account on that, especially if you're not a vocalist, is just not necessary. Have a cheap one like this laying around the house. So if you do ever want to hook up a set of speakers, or probably more relevant to the method we're using, a microphone, you have the ability to do so. But your money will be much better spent on other things, so don't blow the budget. When you have an extra $100, buy one. When you have an extra $100, buy a mic. That way you have the ability to record vocal samples if you want. And you might say, well, I'm not a vocalist. You may not be a singer, but think about things like Daft Punk's One More Time. That's not an earth-shattering vocal. It's somebody who spoke and sort of sang into a mic, one more time. Okay, simple as that. Now take a vocoder and throw that on the vocal. Now it sounds like a robot said it, and you can mangle a vocal, pitch it up, pitch it down. So you don't need to worry about being a powerhouse singer. You just need to be willing to halfly sing into a mic, and then eventually you'll get something like Melodyne or Auto-Tune, which everybody's running through that anyway, so it's not really a big deal if you're flat or sharp with your vocals, because you're going to correct it all and get it pop ready, which is anything but natural nowadays anyway. So just food for thought on that, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.